And welcome to Elevate and Educate Mentorship in Full Bloom. So I am Ashley Orgill. This is actually my 10th year of teaching. I'm a 4th grade teacher at Hill Point, and I'm in the SPS ODU cohort for leadership and administration. So that is why we are here with you today.
I am Lynette Phillips, your favorite. This is my 7th year of teaching at Elephants Fork. I'm a 1st grade teacher here, and I'm also a member of the ODU leadership cohort. Thank you for coming. Yes.
So today, these are some of the topics that we're going to be going over. This professional learning is about mentorship and understanding how we supervise the new teachers that are coming in. But first, even though it's morning, we're going to start with a little cocktail. Y'all won't tell anybody, right?
No.
So if you look at your tables and you take your beverage, we're going to do 2 rounds of getting to know each other. So you're going to pick someone in the room that you have not spoken to before, and you'll ask them their question, and they'll return the same to you. I'll start our timer.
That you don't know or don't really commune with often.
Yes.
Are you up for that? What is your favorite restaurant in this area and why?
I love pizza, so I like Mod Pizza, and that's my favorite in the area. It's they have Hampton, Suffolk, Newport News, and it's like a pizza bar, like a Chipotle for pizza.
Mod Pizza or Mike?
Mod Pizza, MOD.
MOD.
And who was an influential teacher in your life and why?
I always remember my 4th grade teacher, Miss Lawson. She was a little bit older, but she was just super sweet, and she engaged everybody, and everybody was always laughing. Like 4th grade we learned a lot, but it was very great.
Yes, I teach 4th grade. It's amazing.
I was at Hill Point for 13 years.
Oh, wow.
And then I tried middle school.
Yes, we'll switch one more time. Switch to a new person that you haven't.
So go ahead and switch and talk to someone else you haven't got a chance to speak to yet.
You can do Ash.
Yeah.
All right, ask me a question.
Who was an influential teacher in your life and why?
I had a lot of great teachers. Probably my 3rd grade teacher, Miss Stack. She didn't and we were not self-contained, so we rotated in 3rd grade. We had a lot of teachers, but she was my science teacher. She wasn't there the whole year because she ended up having a baby, but she just always was really kind and
nice. People remember kind.
Yes. And I think organized.
That's important too. Yes. What's your question for me?
Share about an interesting wildlife sighting.
I lived in the Bronx all of my life, and we used to have skunks, and that was terrible. Yes. Yeah. So nice to meet you. Thank you, guys. So we have about a little less than 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you for that.
All right. So these are our blooms today, which are our objectives. So today we are learning about the definition, purpose, and support of teacher supervision. And this is because those supervision activities provide important collaborative learning opportunities for new teachers who are new to the profession and help them develop their teacher professional identity.
Okay, so by the end of today, we want to be able to analyze the mindsets and challenges of new teachers, examine the phases of the perceptions of the beginning stages of teachers and the support that they need, describe the roles and the necessary elements of teacher supervision, and identify and discuss the data-driven areas of focus, and also provide mentor leaders with key takeaways for successful teacher mentorship. All right, we want to elevate, and we want to do that through professional growth, which is a means to elevate our educators. That's by fostering continuous professional growth. We want mentors to guide and empower their mentees and in order to help them reach new heights. Also through leadership development, which is a pathway to leadership. It elevates teachers not just in the classroom, but also as potential educational leaders. Mentors provide insight, skills, and support to help mentees blossom. And lastly, on this slide, personal empowerment, which uplifts individual on a personal level. This instills confidence and a sense of empowerment. Along their journey, there are many things that happen, but self-discovery is one of those things that need to occur during their journey as a new teacher.
And most importantly, during this process, we want to make sure that we're educating. So that knowledge transfer, it's like an educational conduit. It's the facilitating the transfer of knowledge from the the experienced teacher to those who are eager to learn. So that lifelong learning, like for example, I've been teaching for 10 years, but I remember some of my mentors just even when I moved to Virginia or when I was in New York. So that lifelong learning, it extends beyond the classroom. You're developing that relationship so that you have it forever and you can always go to that person. And then in turn, that goes into holistic development where mentorship goes beyond subject matter expertise. You don't have to just talk to them about reading and math, but it's everything. And which in turn is in full bloom, which goes with our theme. So it conveys the idea that mentorship leads to the full flowering of professional potential. And educators, under the guidance of mentors, bloom into skilled, passionate professionals that want to stay in the profession.
Now we're going to discuss understanding mentorship. Steven Spielberg said that the delicate balance of mentoring someone is not creating them in your own image, but giving them the opportunity to create themselves. So we are not, as mentors or even leaders, trying to recreate ourselves. We want the teacher to become their own person and do what is best for them, to figure out what works for them.
So the school districts need over 150,000 teachers to meet the demands of growing school districts across the country. So what does that mean? We need the teachers to be here to teach. So those new teachers, we don't just want them, but we want to keep them. When we read up on a study, it said that the retention rate for first and second year teachers who were exposed to a comprehensive mentoring program was improved by 40% compared to the previous year. So our goals for a successful mentorship is lasting and productive relationships. So a good mentor helps the mentee learn and grow faster while building a strong, positive connection. The exchange of knowledge that we spoke about, opening that channel to resources and feedback to help mentees improve their teaching practices, and encouragement and a confidence builder. Having that person to go to is such a confidence builder because think about your first year of teaching. You don't really know what you're doing. And so you need that person to go to that's not going to give judgment, and you can have a higher job satisfaction and lower rates of burnout because you have that person that you can speak to.
Okay, so we are now going to turn and tulip, which is our version of turn and talk. And we want you to think about and discuss, how do you define encouragement, support, and feedback? We're going to give you a few minutes to get with someone. If you need to go to the same table, a different table, please do. And discuss, how do you define encouragement, support, and feedback?
Today, but like how is how are everything going? Like so where and then like so she's been struggling with small groups, so we usually check back in on small groups, give her some ideas, and there's no way around through it to get to the other side. So like you just I just
We have a little bit less than 30 seconds. At this time, if we can have one representative from each group kind of share what they've discussed about encouragement, support, and feedback. Who would like to share? from this group. Okay.
Thank
And
you.
they all are really tied together, just as you said, but each one holds their own weight.
Yes. So we're going to move into the roles and responsibilities of a mentor. So, a mentor is someone who allows you to see the hope inside yourself. And Oprah Winfrey said that. So, we want to make sure that we're fostering that with our new teachers. And this is first and second year, sometimes even third year, because you still don't know everything. You may have moved to a new grade level, you may have moved to a new school, a new building, and it's different. I moved here from originally from New York, and then I was in Hampton for 8 years, and then now I've been at Hill Point for 2. Just moving to Suffolk, I needed someone to tell me, okay, well, how do you guys do this? How do you guys do that? Even though you are a seasoned teacher, you don't know everything, and everyone does things differently.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Whoa! Woo! First year turnover is reduced by 50% if they have a mentor. So this is information from actually, if you have this book, I know the mentors were given the option to get this book, but this book has a lot of information in it. Tina Bugren cites a 2016 study by the Learning Policy Institute, and they found that with mentoring, collaboration, resources, and a strong network, first year turnover is reduced by 50% if they have a mentor. So that's good information to know. And again, this is a good resource to have. In this book, as well as the book that the new teachers were given, it discussed the phases of first year teachers' attitude towards teaching. So, of course, you have as a new teacher, they are feeling lots of anticipation, right? And if you remember back to your first year, this roller coaster is real, right? They come in, they have lots of anticipation about their new year, all the things, they're excited, and then they dive into it and they realize, oh boy, um, this is heavy. I have a lot of stuff that I have to do. Oh my gosh, I have at least 18 kids. Oh my gosh, I got to teach them. I forgot about that part. You are trying to survive, right, as a new teacher. And then they get into feeling like they are not doing their job well enough, which leads to disillusionment. And then once they start getting that support and they feel like they can keep their head above water, they start getting rejuvenated. They get to the summer, breath of fresh air, right? Maybe thinking, I'm not really sure why I did this, but I love it, right? They get some training, some PD, they get a time to reflect. And then they're right back into that period of anticipation where they are now getting ready for their second year of teaching. A mentor is needed for all different stages, all of these different stages, to help support.
So, the role of a mentor. And so, we want to talk about what type of mentor are you? So, when we watch the video, I just want you to think about that: a confidant, an information resource, a colleague, an advisor, and a role model. And so, we want to make sure that we're encompassing all 5 of those things.
Do or do not. There is no
Never saw your future, only its possibilities. You have such a capacity for goodness. Arrogance and fear still keep you from learning the simplest and most significant lesson of all.
You don't know about real loss. It only occurs when you love something more than you love yourself.
Some men aren't looking for reason. You karate do, yes. Karate do, no. You karate do, yes, so. Just like breathing. There is a deep magic more powerful than any of us. It defines right from wrong and governs all our destinies. Yours and mine. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. What? Any other questions?
Okay.
So which one of those, if you would like to share, do you relate to as a mentor?
Are you giving tough love or?
Encouragement all the way? You letting them fall and figure it out? Which one are you?
Anybody want to share? Yes, thank you. That's very important. So, some guidelines to a successful first year mentorship is setting those clear expectations, and that's going to set us up for success. We define our roles and responsibilities, we establish our goals and objectives, and we clarify boundaries and timelines. Maybe you don't want her calling you at 11 p.m., but maybe you do. That's okay.
Right.
And so, those weekly check ins, phone, face to face meetings, do you need anything? And it can be bi-weekly scheduled meetings, but you want to make sure that you're having those meetings and you're also filling out your paperwork. And also peer feedback, guidance and support. Ask them if they would like for you to observe and give feedback, because observations are important, and you just let them know it's not evaluative, because sometimes teachers don't want you in their room,
Right.
especially when they feel judged. But when y'all build that relationship, they're not going to feel that. They're going to say, oh girl, come on in, tell me where I messed up right here. And so provide advice, but be an active listener. Someone always told me, do you want advice or do you want me to listen? Because sometimes you don't really want advice. You just want to vent. And so I'm there to listen, or you might want feedback. So also from the Supporting Beginning Teachers book, Bugrin says that it involves confirming and restating what the speaker has communicated. Your feelings are valid, being empathetic and letting them know that you're hearing them, but you're there for whatever it is that they might want at that time. And just having that emotional support, listening ear, no judgment. And it's important for us to lead by example.
Communication and relationships. They basically cover 4 simple things: open and honest dialogue, building trust, professional boundaries, role modeling. Of course, open and honest dialogue is going to get you the biggest bang for your buck, right? If you're not honest, are you really helping them? No. And it goes both ways, right? You want your mentee to be open and honest with you, with their challenges, their struggles, what they need, but you also have to be open and honest with them. Which leads into the next one: building trust. It doesn't matter what relationship you have, building trust is the foundation of that, right? So without it, you can't really, again, support your mentee in the best way. Again, the professional boundaries. This is, again, do you want them calling you at 11, or do you not want them to call you at all? I mean, do you want to keep it right to the building and that's it? Those are things that you have to set ahead of time, so that if they are crashing and burning, they're not calling you at midnight because they're freaking out about tomorrow's exam or whatever it is, but to know that I'll see you when we get to school. And role modeling. If you, just like we are in our classroom, how can we support them if we're showing them the wrong thing to do, right? As a mentor, just like a teacher or leader, we have to lead by example, right? So I can't tell you to follow the rules, but I'm over here doing my own thing, because that's just contradictory.
And so with all positive things, there of course comes some challenges. So if you have your phone, if you can scan the code, it's going to be a word cloud. And I want you to talk about what are some challenges that you have had as a mentor. So if you can just put some one-word answers into the word cloud.
We'll give everybody a chance to get in.
Did everybody get in?
No, Miss, I don't remember her name. Oh yeah, Miss White. Thumbs up if you're in. All right.
Let's see.
So we'll give it a few minutes. Oh,
There we go.
there we go. Oh,
There we go.
all right. Wow.
I like that.
Okay.
Did everybody get a chance to add to it? All right. So looking at these, time seems to be a big one. That's why it got bigger. So communication, productivity, relationships, experience, advice, materials, positivity, special education, scheduling, paperwork, and learning differences. But the number one thing seems to be time. All of those things are so important because it's the truth. Sometimes people don't want our advice, or we don't have the time to give it because we're crashing and burning too. No matter how long we've done it, it's a different group of kids every year. So there's different challenges every year. So it's never a one size fits all for everything and everybody. Go ahead.
Okay. So some of those challenges, mismatches in expectations, communication barriers, just as you guys said, time restraints, finding common ground, learning from conflict, and being able to seek mediation. If you have expectations that are not the same, it's important for you to find that common ground. That comes with conversation, that comes with just meeting and being on one accord. You have to find the common ground in order to move forward. And think of conflict as a chance to learn and grow instead of something that's just keeping you from doing what you're supposed to do. Because every day is a learning process for all of us, right? We should be learning every day. And time restraints, seek mediation. If you find that you are not being able to meet, maybe reach out to your mentor leader in your building, or if that is not working, talk to admin. That's not a bad thing. That's something that's necessary in order to support your mentee.
Yeah, and especially because they want the teacher to return the next year.
Right.
So we want to make sure that they're getting the mentoring, and maybe they need a different person. Like, it's all right. Sometimes there's mismatches in expectations or pairing.
Yeah.
And so we have some data-driven areas of focus. So we did a study and on mentor impact on job satisfaction, and the data was derived from mentees. So 56% said that mentor impact, they strongly increased their job satisfaction. 22% said increased, and 22% said that they had no change. And then at the bottom, this is some of the data from the mentors. 0 to 1 years of teaching, 12%, 2 to 4 years of teaching, 45%, and 5 to 10 years of teaching, 43%. So it goes to show that even if you're a new teacher, sometimes new teachers are put in positions where they're mentoring or they're new to the division.
Right.
And then 88.9% said that they met weekly, and 11.1% said that they met once a month. So this is good information because we're seeing also now that the mentors and the mentees are meeting, and there is some impact on the job satisfaction for them. So you guys are doing great.
And so we did a survey with the mentees, and we want you to know that you are having a positive impact on your mentees. This is how well they're impacted because of their mentorship. So it shows that you guys, again, are doing a great job. So keep it up. And that the quantitative data also showed that classroom management, small group organization, and time management, which again we see in that word cloud, that time is really a thing that needs to be focused on. These all came from both the mentor and mentee surveys that we did. So that's a common thing in both.
So some inspirations is just to begin with mindfulness, actively teach compassion, merge learning and fun. Because like we said, we're building upstanding citizens when we're thinking about students. We're not just doing reading and math. So tell them that. Or you might want to go to lunch with your mentee, you know, those types of things. Because once you build that trust, you have everything. And so you want to make it physical, work with their hands, leave room for emotions, practice some restorative practices, especially because are teachers in your building at each building that have gone to the training on community circles and helping with behavior and classroom management. So 2 things that we found that we actually use in our classroom. One is bouncy balls, and this helps with classroom management. So this would be something that you can share with your teachers, your mentees, that it controls noisy classrooms with bouncy balls. So you'll start bouncing, and then you'll kind of tell the kids, like, all right, this thing bouncing off the walls, y'all a little bit too loud. So it's a classroom management thing. If you have a speaker, that will be really helpful. And then I wanted to share actually my classroom screen. So classroom screen, I use it for all the data-driven areas of focus: classroom management, small group, and time management. So that's my chill morning vibes at the top. That plays every morning. Then you can set up a to-do list. You can even set it up like schedule with times. And then also there's a timer. Sometimes I'll put that on. I always start on red, so that helps with classroom management. And at Hill Point, we do lunch choices. So the kids come up and they press and do their lunch choice. So it helps with organizing everything. And we use it every morning. We change it for the holiday. We change it based on what we're doing that day. It tells them what notebooks they need. And I know that I teach upper levels, but it can be used for lower levels as well, because you make it yourself and you can update it from home and they can pull it up. So classroom screen is a great resource to use. And since I found it, it's been amazing. There's a free version, but you can't save the screen. So I know that some of us do pay for it so that we can save the classroom screen and we can continue to use it and update it from home on our computers and pull it up. So even if you're absent, you can put a little note on the board for the kids and have them pull it up on your board. So that's just something to definitely share with your mentees. And also that is really, really beneficial with small group as well, because you can put the names in, you can make a schedule, and you can put timers. And so we are going to do our last activity, in which we blossom into expertise. So we are the adult learners, and we are making sure that we are doing the best we can as mentors. So we're going to split into groups, 3 groups we need, and we're going to work on classroom management, small group organization, and time management. So you're going to take these 5 minutes just to come up with ideas of how you can support your mentees in that area. So just write a couple of things on each chart of how you can support your mentee in each area.
There are markers on the table.
So you guys have small group organization. What are some tips that they can take away? And you guys here have classroom management. How can you help them with classroom management? And then this is time management. Listing some suggestions or ideas for time management for your mentees. And just a quick 5 minutes. Yeah,
there's something you can do with every
the guy. Also on your table, while you're doing that, everyone got I'll hold it up. everyone got a handout, and this just has our information and some Bloom tips and tools. And then on the back, there are suggested discussion topics for new teachers. These are the SBS discussion topics for every month. It talks about all the different things that you can discuss with your mentee. So like in September, first day of school, seating charts. But then we get all the way to April, report cards, teacher evaluation, keeping students engaged.
And there is a, if you don't already know, there's a mentor SPS portal. So this information is there too. Because of the faces, some don't know. But it's through SPS. And we will take these suggestions and have the mentor lead share them out to the mentees. We may not need all of the time.
Yes. Just give us a thumbs up once you're kind of done so that we can
move on.
Move on.
Go back.
That group is nice. Okay. And we are going to compile these lists and definitely share them out, like Lynette said.
All right. I love the collaboration that's going on.
All right, so we're going to come back together because I know you guys have to get to your classes and responsibilities, so we can lead by example.
Yes, please. Bob Proctor says that a mentor is someone who sees more talent and ability within you than you see in yourself and helps bring it out of you. And this is very true. Sometimes we don't know how well we are doing until somebody else tells us, right? We think we're sinking, and the next person comes along and says, you have done a fantastic job, right? So that's just something to think about.
Yes. I also wanted to share this is at your table. I know we talked about the handout, but this is the work language appreciation. So everybody heard of love languages, or if you have a husband or a boyfriend, you've done it, and you have your languages of love. This is work appreciation quiz that you take, and it's good for you and your mentees to do it together because then you can understand what they like. Like, for example, if Lynette likes gifts, this is my partner. I might get her a gift for her birthday, let her know that she's doing a great job.
June 24th.
And then it'll be easier. It'll be easier for me to soften the blow when I'm like, all right, Lynette, we need to work on the classroom management, but I know you like a gift too. So we're matching our expectations and we're being kind and empathetic to what we both need. And we know what we need because sometimes we want to love each other in the way we want, love other people in the way that we want to, but that's not what they're receptive of.
Yeah.
And so, go ahead.
Have we, give me a thumbs up if we analyze the mindsets and challenges of new teachers? Love it. Did we examine the phases of perceptions of beginning teachers and the stages of support? Wonderful. Did we describe the roles and the necessary elements of successful teacher supervision? Great job. Did we identify and discuss the data-driven areas of focus? Yes. And finally, did we provide mentor leaders with key takeaways for successful teacher mentorship? Yes. Awesome. So we met what we set out to do today.
Yes. So we're going to ask you just to do 2 more things, and then we promise we will go away. So first, we ask you to please fill out this post survey. And then on your way out, that's still the survey, but on your way out on a sticky note in your bins, can you please write and plant a seed in our garden? It's towards the door over there. What are some things that you need help with as a mentor right away so that we may provide some resources to you, and it may be something that someone else needs?
Okay, not sure.
The garden is over
here
there.
on the wall.
Plant
The
a
sticky
seed
notes
in our
are
garden.
in your bins.
They're sticky notes.
And actually,
so survey and sticky note so that we can get some feedback from you all.
Plant a seed, please. What are some things that you need help with as a mentor right away? Hey, Cam.
But we want to thank you guys for coming. We know it's early and we really appreciate your participation. And these are our emails, and they're also on the handout if you have any questions for us.